Hello. Let me get a 5x5 if you can hear me. Oh, 5 people in the thread there in the chat. 5x5. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. If you can hear me. I know it might take you a second. Well, while we're taking it a second, let's get this disclaimer out of the way for the algorithm, the YouTube, the overseers. This is satire. This is a joke. None of this is real. It's fictitious. This is a work of art. I don't condone violence or any acts of violence or illegal activity. So, viewer beware. 5x5. Hey, Robert Winslow, how you doing? Hope everyone's having a happy Thanksgiving. Let me see who's in here. Robert, Midwest Bro, Prepper Cowboy, Wisconsin fanboy. Glad you're all here. Glad you're having a happy Thanksgiving. Michael Holzman, thanks for being here. Midwest again. Dome Seeker, hello. Sent you a message. And Chewbacca. Now, are you all watching on separate phones? Or are you lying in bed right now, side by side, on separate phones, or watching on one phone? I'm kind of curious because you both kind of typed at the same time, so you're both logged on. Yep, well, at least be in the same room. Don't be in separate sides of the house. Go get the kids because they might want to hear this shit. Robbie words, I know, Uncle Rob words. Dynamite, hey, happy Thanksgiving, brother. Dan Phillips, there we go. FJB, separate phones, side by side. Knew it. Same as when I FaceTime you guys. Something's wrong with you, but it's all right. Let's see. Ryan Keith, how you doing? Ron Reno, Black Cat Whirligig. I love it. I just love that, but it's a pain in the ass to type because you have the capital letters in there and shit. AR American, hey brother, well, you gotta get another channel up. In case any of you don't know, AR American had his channel canceled a while back. They nuked him, like they try to do me from time to time. But yeah, just create a new email, go get you a burner phone at Walmart, new email, link to that phone, start up a new account. We'll get you back out there. Pilgrim Prepper, Melissa Dune. I like saying hi to all of you because it's the holidays, or a holiday, or not even if it's not a holiday. You're taking your time to be here, and you don't have to be. But it's awesome. Big German, hello. Yes, happy Thanksgiving. All right. A couple of things I wanted to talk about because it's Thanksgiving. And whether you believe it or not, whether you know it or not, because a lot of people simply don't think the way I think. My brain has been twisted and corroded, and just it's a messed up place. It's the dark side of the force, if you will, by the U.S. government and things I've seen and done throughout my life. But it lends me certain perspective that not a lot of people have. And Thanksgiving is very relevant to the state of our nation today. The state of our society today. Why is Thanksgiving important and relevant on a day like today on Thanksgiving? It's simple. A lot of people focus on compromise. You always say, well, you hear the far left, the far right, and then the people in the middle. Well, there is no such thing as far right. There's no such thing as far left either. And there's no such thing as in the middle. And a lot of people might want to disagree with that, but I'm going to explain it. You have right. You have wrong. And anything in the middle is choosing wrong. There's no middle. You're either doing the right thing or you're not. And if you are willing to compromise in the middle with those that are doing wrong, you're wrong. There's no middle. There's no extreme left or right. And how does that tie into Thanksgiving? It's simple. A long time ago, people came to this continent and they weren't able to survive on their own. They were having hard times that winter. And the natives of the land, of this land, numbered in the millions. in the millions and helped a few who couldn't survive on their own, who didn't have the capacity, the capability to survive on their own. They helped them survive. The first Thanksgiving, they gave them food, gave them the supplies they need to survive through the harsh winter that was coming. They compromised. And where are those people today? Virtually extinct. You'll find them on reservations here and there across the nation. Some. Millions upon millions? No. The people that couldn't survive, the people that had no reason to compromise with anything, accepted a gift, accepted the compromise of the stronger force until they were capable to wipe out that force. That's the same thing we're doing here today in our society. The progressives, the left, they ask for concessions. Well, just give us this. They've been doing it for decades. Just give us that. A little bit more here. You gotta compromise with us. We don't have to compromise. We didn't have to compromise. The truth is, the strongest, the most capable of destroying their enemy never has to compromise. The weak have to compromise because there's nothing they can do about it. So we're getting to a point where we are going to soon find ourselves in the same position that the natives of this country did a long time ago, where our adversary, those that are frankly evil, will be more powerful than us. They'll exert their influence, and they'll go to war with us. And people want to say, well, what if we end up in FEMA camps? What do you think a FEMA camp is? It's a reservation. That's all it is. Let me look in the chat real quick. Just cooked and ate my turkey from last year. It was still frozen solid. Well, there you go. Oh, let's see here. Wisconsin fanboy. Yeah, thanks for agreeing. It's true. It's true. There's no reason to compromise, especially because you're afraid that they're going to call us names. They're going to, we'll make you lose your job. We'll dox you. Don't worry about those things. Those things don't matter. If we went back, if you could go back in time right now, 150, 200 years, if you could go back 200 years and tell the native tribes that were here in Appalachia, say, hey, if you go tell them all the ones all the way back to the Dakotas, all the way back to Arizona, New Mexico territories. Go tell all the tribes that if they don't stop us now, we're going to wipe them out. It's a fact. Here's a history book from the future. You don't exist. You're on little reservations. What do you think they would do? They would push every non-native into the fucking ocean. They would, because hindsight is 20/20. And history repeats itself. We're seeing that now. We're seeing it. A lot of people don't want to admit it, and a lot of people won't like it, but it's true. So you have to decide, whether you want to do the right thing or do the wrong thing. There is no compromise. As I said before, there's no compromise. And for anyone who thinks, if any of you think that, we could compromise on this, you are my enemy because you are siding with them. It's them or them. There's good, there's bad, there's right, there's wrong. I don't care about legal or illegal. It doesn't matter, because not all things that are legal are right. Not all things that are illegal are wrong. That's a fact. It's always been that way. But how do illegal things become, or wrong things become illegal? Compromise. siding with evil. And I won't do that. Thank you, Dynamite. Support your local warlord. Yes. Hey, Papa's Farm. Jacob Winter. Happy Thanksgiving. So, and as I said before, we're going to, yes, amen. It's good versus evil. And a lot of people don't want to see that. A lot of people want to take God out of the equation. I was speaking with Angel, matter of fact, Dome Seeker, and everybody else. We're not having a Christmas tree this year. We're not. We were just talking today. She was like, well, I wouldn't mind having a small tree that we could put. No, we're going to have a nativity. We're going to have the nativity scene, and we'll put the kids' presents under the nativity. Why? Because Christmas is not about a damn tree. It's not about all these fancy ornaments. It's not about a star on top of the tree. Oh, well, the star's in, but bullshit. Don't give me that bullshit. There's not a single pine tree anywhere near where Christ was born. It's not. We took a pagan symbol to help recruit pagans into Christianity, and the fucking pine tree stuck. So we're doing away with that. We're going to get the kids back to the foundations of what holidays are about. Just like we didn't celebrate Halloween with them this year. No, that's the devil's holiday. Well, it's just kids. A little bit of evil is a little bit of evil. Period. And it's my job as a father, as a God-fearing man, to put my kids on the right path, to let them know that they have, a lot of people go through life pondering what's the meaning of life. Does anybody know? Let's say, we'll put in 15 seconds here before I tell you what the meaning of life is. Does anybody know what the meaning of life is? We'll put it down there, and I'll read some of these while I'm looking. That's right. We do not negotiate with tyrants. Spiritual battle. Same no tree. Good on you, Dome Seeker. Boots against suits. We haven't had a tree for years. Good on you, Doc. Papa's Farm. Got served. There we go. Our purpose is to worship the Creator. That is why we're here. We're to worship the Creator and conquer the earth and subjugate it to make it ours, not while destroying it or anything like that. So I know there are some people in here that love the environment. I do too, because I like breathing. I like drinking clean water, all those things. Just destroying the environment does not necessarily go hand in hand with subjugating the earth. But yes, our primary purpose is to serve God and follow his laws. That's the other thing. Follow his laws. Now, there's a lot of his laws that people like to disregard. And, it's not a buffet. I'm going to pick this and throw that away. I'll take a little bit of that and, none of that and some of this. No. You either follow them or you don't. And you either teach your children to follow them or you don't. And, yes. So that is how Thanksgiving is relevant. Anyway, back to the topic. That is how Thanksgiving is relevant to what is going on in our country today. We have to realize that we are on the verge of the trail of tears when it comes to patriots. Don't think it'll happen. Look at the past. Just look. History goes in a circle. Let's see. I'm not putting up a tree either, or decorations decided last week. Wife doesn't like it, but yeah. And that's the thing. Like, Miss Angel, she was, well, I've always had a tree. I said, of course you have, because that's what you were taught. That's what's in your head.
I've never said that because I'd rather not celebrate.
Okay, then good. And we won't. She didn't say that. She what was it you said? You said, I'm not used to not having one or some shit.
No, I said with the kids, I think we're obligated to have one.
Oh, she thought with the kids we were obligated to have one. No, we're not. And I said, that's what's in your head, is that you're obligated to do that. No, we're not. We're actually obligated to the opposite. Brian Smith, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Sir Johnson, the wife is real big on trees. That is because someone trained her at a very young age to be big on trees.
Thanks for stealing my damn ice cream.
Oh, would you like it? It's over here.
Look, there's another one.
Having a conversation over here. But yes, Sir Johnson, think about that and let her know that and say, well, I can't believe someone trained you to be big on trees. That'll be what? What do you mean somebody trained me? Well, I mean, it is what it is. Another topic, and we can bounce around if somebody wants to talk about something else. Just put it in the chat. We'll try to get to it. Another topic I wanted to get to, well, first, Prepper Nation. John, if you watch this later on, he's starting to talk a lot like I think. In fact, I commented on his video, the replay I got, was it yesterday? I said, you are becoming me. He's getting a little bit more aggressive, if you will, which is cool because it's kind of like having a terminal illness. You hear about people having a terminal illness. First, they go through anger, then they go through grief, then they go through acceptance, right? Realizing that you're coming to a tipping point in what's going on in our country. It's kind of the same way. First, you get angry. I can't believe the government's doing this stupid shit. I can't believe this. I can't believe people are making me wear a mask. And then you come to acceptance. Okay, they're not going to fucking stop. You know, you get angry, then you get sad, and then you accept it. You know, once you accept it, that's when you get dangerous. All right. Let me look in the chat real quick. Rob, you about lit up the butt end of your smoke. I've done that quite a few times. I am glad he is. I didn't catch what you had said before that, Michael Holzman. We do a nativity set with a lit star. Yeah, that makes sense. Let me scroll back up a little bit here. Let's see, everything's giving you your family. Wife will be on trees. Yeah, John is great. He's a good dude, and he cracks me up. But he has been. I'm glad he is. That's what you were saying, Michael. You're glad he is starting to get a little more aggressive. Yes, and I am too. It's like watching my little, as my old drill sergeant said a long time ago. I'm watching my cupcakes rise in the oven. You know what I mean? And so yeah, that's good stuff. But as far as what he was talking about, how do you live outside the system? How do you get away from the system? I was thinking about that, and I look at different things throughout history and throughout this country, throughout the world, and I came up with, I made an observation. There's a group of islands. There's an island right off the coast of India, and the government doesn't allow anyone to go there. Like for a very long time, they've not allowed anyone to go there. Some of you may know this. No outsiders, no government officials, no people from India are allowed to go there. No people from anywhere on the world are allowed to go to this island. Now, nowadays they'll say, well, it's because it's the tribe that lives there hasn't built up antibodies. So if they catch a disease, it could wipe out the whole tribe because they've lived in isolation for so long. Diseases carried by animals. I mean, bird flu, look at that. They've had visitors come to the island. They've had people come to the island. So they've been exposed to the outside. There are many different ways that they have been exposed to the outside world, and their immune systems are fine. All right. The problem in reality is that they live on an island that doesn't have a lot of natural resources, because if there was a lot of valuable, if there was a pocket of oil miles deep underneath that island, they would have sent in an army and just wiped every tribe member off the island. The two things that the tribe has going for it is, one, it doesn't have a lot of value in the land that it lives on. And two, it massacres any human not from their tribe. Let me see something interesting to watch. MacGyver Prepping, how you doing? What pisses me off is that people wait till there is so much overwhelming evidence. Yeah, they do. Let me see. Hillbilly Living says, I'm the song leader at my church and I don't decorate for Christmas. Good. Most folks I know are stepping away from the traditional norms. As far as yes, that's true. But as I said, the Islanders, and I'm sure some of you know about it, and if you don't, just Google it. Forbidden Island off the coast of India. Tourists can't go there. Preacher killed by natives because a kid went there to preach the word, and he was told not to go, and nobody was allowed to take him there. But he hired some fishermen and said, "Hey, take me over there. I'll pay you some cash." And of course, money talks. This was just a few years ago, and they took him over to the island. And yes, he set foot on the beach. They shot a bunch of arrows into him and took him away into the jungle to do whatever they're going to do with him, use him as fucking decorations in the trees or whatever. But they massacre anybody that goes there. So when it boils down to it, we all know it's all about money. Getting people to leave you alone is all about money. At the end of the day, everything's bottom line is money, money, money. Money is the root of all evil. And if it's far more costly to leave you, if it costs a lot more to bother you than it does to leave you alone, they're going to leave you the fuck alone. There's no value in the tribes. There's no value in going on in the land. So they don't send people there, because if they send 50 guys there, well, they're going to have 50 body bags that need recovered by the next 50 guys that come to try to get the bodies. And it's just going to keep going. Either they're going to end up wasting a bunch of ammunition, a bunch of bombs trying to level the place to clear out the tribe. It's expensive and it has no value. You got to be the same way. All right. If you have a 10-acre tract of land that has no mineral rights, no value, no timber, just out in the middle of nowhere, and the government knows, and say you're just like, well, fuck it, I quit working, I'm just going to quit paying taxes, and if you send anybody here, I'm just going to wipe them out. And you have the capabilities, and they can see that you have these capabilities. They're going to be like, just leave that guy alone. You don't think that's true? There's a guy down in Texas, Joe, can't remember his name. Google, if you're curious after this, Google longest standoff in U.S. history. It was 15 years. The guy didn't show up for a subpoena. He was picked up for illegally carrying a firearm without a permit in Texas, given a citation, and was told to appear before court. He didn't appear before court. In fact, he wrote a letter to the judge basically saying, I'm not showing up to court, and if you come to get me, we'll just bury you all in the fucking yard. And guess what happened? They had a standoff for 15 years. The Texas Rangers couldn't go in and get him. The U.S. Marshals couldn't go in and get him. The FBI couldn't go in and get him. And after 15 years, the court system said, you know what? Let's dismiss all of this shit so that we don't have to fuck with this dude and his family anymore. Because his family had, they lived on a small plot of land. They had well water and grew their own food. They were off-grid living for 15 years. And, they were armed to the teeth. And they were like, and the guy even said, if you send people in here, send body bags because you're going in them. If anybody knows his name, you can put it in the chat. Can't remember his name. Let's see what it says in the chat here. If I win the lotto, I want to buy my own country. You can just create your own country for us. You could literally just buy 10,000 acres and fortify the shit out of it and make it a North Korea. Why does nobody walk into North Korea? You think people would, there are people that would like to go and see what it's like in North Korea, but there's fucking minefields in between. And they'll kill you if you sneak into their country. Yeah, so there's that. But if you make it so costly in blood and treasure that it's not feasible, they will leave you the fuck alone. It's just the way the world works. I heard the same story. There was a video made about the family. There were a couple of videos. I think you can find them on YouTube. There's one like the news, like actual news went there and was like interviewing these people over the past, like I think it was 2015 when it ended, when the standoff ended. Yeah, drones could have fixed that problem. Anything that could be done about those pesky problems. See, there you go. There you go. Do you know how much a fucking drone costs? Do you have any concept of how much a missile on a drone costs? I mean, when you're spending $200 million on a fucking missile for a $10,000 tax debt, it boils down to the numbers, to the money. No, they're not going to give up $200 million. Let's see. You have Doc Gates says you have to make it costly where it hurts the decision maker. That too. And like I've said before, you know, if you want to affect change, you hit the guy that decides, the guy at the top, the head of the snake, the head of the, you know, the body's going to do what it's going to do, but without its head, you know, just saying. Not that I'm advocating violence. I'm just saying if, you know, you have problems, just nip it in the bud at the top, you know, or in the flower's case, at the bud, because that's where it comes from. Get to the root of the problem or the head of the snake. Either way, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Killdozer. Now, Killdozer. The Killdozer, he was just martyring himself because he went out and caused, so much financial damage that they had to stop him from causing more financial damage. Now, had he off-gridded his property there and just said, well, fuck y'all, I'm not paying any more city taxes because you built all this shit around me. I'm not paying any more property taxes because you built all this shit around me. You're giving me such a hard time. I'm going to stay here on my property and I'm just going to live here and y'all leave me alone. If anybody you come here, I'm going to put you in the fucking ground. Guess what? Killdozer dude'd still be here. And they'd be a bunch of pissed off motherfuckers not getting tax money from his property. And he'd still have his property because they'd be like, well, look at Bundy Ranch. Look at the Bundy Ranch. It was more cost effective to leave them the hell alone. Now, a lot of this changed after, you start seeing it after like Ruby Ridge and Waco because the government hates bad publicity. They hate it. Especially in a day where everybody has a camera and everybody can make videos. So times have changed in the favor of the person who wants to have the armed standoff. The second thing is you can't be afraid to use the same force that is being threatened against you. All right. That's where a lot of people, and John was talking about it. And he was like, there are people that are just going to give up their guns. I absolutely agree with that. There are people right now, maybe some, I guarantee some that have subscribed to this channel, that when the end of the road comes and they have a decision as to whether to turn their firearms over to a officer with paperwork at the door or to put those officers in the fucking ground on the spot, they're not going to do that. They're going to hand them over. There's a lot of them. A lot of them. Yeah, it's sad too, because at that point, they're your enemy. They're the soldiers of your enemy. You're too busy. You're so bad. Everybody's like, well, I'll wait for the blue helmets. The blue helmets are already here, my friend. They're the ground troops of the politicians. They're the enforcers. I don't care what uniform they're wearing. I don't care if it says UN. I don't care if it's got a Chinese flag on it. I don't care what. I don't care if it has a NYPD badge on it. If you come after me to do wrong things expect to meet force with force. It doesn't matter. AR American says, same people who said it's just a mask go along to get along will surrender their firearms. Absolutely. Absolutely. People that capitulated and gave in. They gave up their rights. Just That what? Compromised. Well, I'll just wear it because if not, then they might fire me. I don't give a fuck you. If I worked at a place and the manager said, Rob, if you don't wear that mask, you're gonna lose your job. I'm like, Phil, I know where you live, right? If you fired me, it would be a shame that you'd be homeless. Well, how the fuck would I be homeless? Well, God, it's winter. People's houses always catch fire in the fucking winter, Phil. Fuck with me. Captain Morgan says, what gun? Hold on, now they're blocking people. Let's see. Show. I ain't giving up shit, he said. That's right. We'll show that. Give up guns for 2 weeks to flatten the curve. That's right. Just give them back for 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Again, people say, well, I had a boating. If you think you need to hide your guns or make up stories about your guns, it's time to use your guns. That's a fact, Jack. I heard, just put on the mask. Yes, it says, AR American said, I heard just put on the mask. It will make people feel better. I told them to fuck their feelings. That's the problem. We're so sensitive. Sensitive doesn't solve shit. Sensitive makes harder. If people can't deal with their emotions, these are people we do not need in society. Now, there's going to come a time where they either purge us or we purge them. And right now, they are gaining ground. And you don't think it will happen? They have, in Canada right now, they are offering medically made, medically assisted, medical assistance in dying. That's what it is. Medical assistance in dying. If you are poor, homeless, or have psychological disorders. If you have depression, you can get medical assistance to die. Not help to prevent you from wanting to kill yourself, but they will help you kill yourself because it's more cost effective. Let's see. Paradise. I'll show this real quick. Paradise Pete. Paradise Pete says, who the fuck are you trying to stir up stupid shit and get folks riled in the onset of winter? You facts are half-baked. Anyway, Paradise Pete, you are a moron. You are a moron. I'll let this sit there for a minute. But yeah, you're an idiot. You're a spineless coward, Paradise Pete. You're spineless. You've never done anything to stand up for yourself or anyone else. You've never protected anyone. You are the type that will cower in the corner like a child when the shit hits the fan. Guarantee that. And Paradise Pete, check this out. You are gone. There you go. Bye-bye, Paradise Pete. And Pete, yeah, of course he can't spell. He's an idiot. Let me show that. Show. There we go. Anyway, Paradise is gone. Let's see. Prepper Cowboy is getting. Yeah, unblocked yours too, Paradise or Cowboy there. Prepper Cowboy. The Google machine analytics grabbed yours and blocked it, but I showed it. Anyway, people need to get stirred up. You need to stop compromising. And Thanksgiving. Oh, happy Thanksgiving. Here's another one. We've been conditioned not to talk about religion or politics. Let me show that real quick. RYX says, I'm the exact same way at my workplace. I found out a location where the scumbag manager who threatened to write me up. And if I thought he's insulting to him, yeah. Okay, let me show this, Brian Keith. Anyway, we've been conditioned not to I'll talk about religion or politics, the two most important factors in our life. And people will say, and there are people who don't say it yet, don't say, I don't follow politics. Because when someone says that to me, I simply have this voice in my head that says, how can you not give a fuck about the one major thing that would dictate the governance of where you live and what your children are taught outside of your house? So when you say, if you hear somebody say, "Oh, I don't care about politics. I don't follow politics," that is somebody who's handing off their responsibilities to someone else. That's the way that is, because that's the way that works. You should care about politics. You should care about corrupt politics too. Now, am I saying that voting works? Absolutely not. Because like they say, it doesn't matter who votes. It matters who counts the votes at this point. And we have gone far beyond the ability of people. Right now, those who actually put into the system, those who actually have skin in the game, are the minority when it comes to voting. The majority have nothing to lose at all, regardless of what happens with an election. The majority don't. That's why the only way to fix our voting system is to take it back 100 years. And a lot of people don't like that, but it's a fact. If you can't, back in the day, and now, yes, there were things back in the day where they would, land ownership. That's why I said land owners used to be the ones who could vote. And people say, well, that was to prevent, African Americans from voting. I believe that's correct, because back in the days, it was hard, really, really hard for an African American or Black American to gain land, to own land. But that's not how it is today. So if we went back to only landowners could vote, wouldn't matter what color you were, you would have skin in the game. And for those that would say, well, there's a lot of people that don't own land. If you can't, now here's where I'm going to piss people off, and I'm going to lose subscribers on this. If you can't prioritize buying land, and if you can't earn enough, save enough to buy even a quarter of an acre of land, you aren't informed enough to be able to make a logical decision on how someone is going to represent you. There you go. In layman's terms, if you can't figure out how to get a hold of land, you're not smart enough to vote, because it's not that difficult to start a business, to refrain from going out to eat every day and put a little money away. People will have $1,000 iPhone in their hand, and there's a $1,000 quarter acre of land in the middle, down the road that they could have bought, or a $2,000, two phones. It costs 2 phones to buy a half an acre. 2 phones. It's called priorities, Randy Romines. Absolutely priorities. If you can't do that or won't do that, you shouldn't have the right to vote. But yeah, people should be getting riled up. But anyway, let me get back, because I got off track because that one dude. We've been conditioned not to talk about religion and politics, the two biggest important things in our lives, especially like today, Thanksgiving. And don't forget, Christmas is right around the turn. So feel free to remember this on Christmas. When your families are there, if someone is arguing with you about politics, explain to them, there's no left, there's no right. There's right and wrong. So if people think, oh, it's family. Yeah, Cain killed fucking Abel. All right? I'm just going to throw that out there. Bam. Cain killed fucking Abel. How good of a family was that? If you were Abel, would you want to invite Cain over to Thanksgiving? No, because he's going to fucking kill you. Your enemy is your enemy regardless of your blood. Beliefs are what define beliefs and culture are what define your neighbors. People that think like you, believe similar to you, and have similar values to you. Those are your neighbors. Love your neighbors. Anybody else? Fuck them, burn them at the stake. I don't give a shit. People are like, oh, I can't believe people were afraid of the Salem witch, afraid of witches and not the people burning the witches. I think by looking around, we've missed quite a few fucking witches. I guess the trials didn't go far enough. Let's see. This is still a buyer's market, but got to have the down payment. And that's the thing is, Randy Romans, you don't. You can find land out there for $3,000, $4,000. Down payment. The fuck kind of down payment you need for $4,000? You can go sell stuff. You can go sell blood for 6 months and go buy a piece of land if you really wanted to. Just a small piece. Something you can put a tent on. A spare parking space, whatever. If it was a requirement to vote, trust me, there'd be people buying land. In fact, then you see a lot of people buying land. The price of land would skyrocket because the really rich wouldn't want everybody to vote. So they'd be trying to snack up all the land they could get because if it's all being bought, that limits how many people can vote. Brian Keith, I would love to buy land, Rob. However, my wife is on SSI. Hard to make money without the SA knowing. However, the home we live in, I do own the deed, but we are poor. LOL. No 1K iPhone here. I hear you. And see, you're worried about the government. And I understand that because that can be scary. That can be scary. But there's all kinds of ways to make cash. I remember as a kid walking around collecting cans out of the dumpsters, out of bars, going around collecting cans from bars. I mean, if there's a will, there's a way. I know a place right now that there's probably 80 pounds, 100 pounds of aluminum sitting outside right now. Scrap that I could just go pick up if I needed to and take it to the scrap yard. And it's there every week because it's a business. And they're like, I don't want that shit and I don't want to pay for a dumpster. So if y'all want it, come get it. And different people go by every week and pick up the scrap aluminum and take it away for them. Land prices are out of hand here in Texas. Sir Johnson, you're all the way down in Texas. There we go. All the people from California, yeah, they're gonna Californianize your Texas, my friend. But started to lose track there for a second. What the hell were we talking about? See, y'all got me going. I get on that rant. I hate people to say I can't. I can't, because you can. Whether you believe you can't or whether you believe you can, either way, you are correct. But yeah, your family members, if you have family members, blood relatives that vehemently disagree with you, and you are 100% in the right, you're in the right, because it's real easy. You pick up a Bible, you pick up a Quran, or you pick up a Torah, aka Old Testament, and if what you believe is in one of them three, and what they believe is what one of them three say don't do, they're wrong. You're right. Fucking break ties with them. I have lots of blood relatives that I don't even talk to anymore. Haven't for years. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Progressive Patriot. Who are we talking about? Are you talking about me, Progressive Patriot, or somebody else? Oh, me. No, I just ain't gonna have you in here shit talking the whole fucking time when you're spineless, when you don't do anything, when you've never put your ass on the line. He just created another account. That's what it is. Let's see. Oh yeah, got the trolls coming out. You know I'm doing good. You know I'm pissing off the algorithm when the trolls are coming out, right? But yeah, you know, he was talking about me, Dynamite, and he's gone. He's gone. I'm not going to have him on here doing the troll and shit. They got all their liberal platforms they can go on. So they're not going to come on here and just be talking shit. You know, they can disagree and be like, I disagree with you. But when they're on here like, oh, you're just talking shit, stirring up shit because you don't know shit. Yeah, well, you're gone. Goodbye. I don't even care because they are the enemy. That type of person is the enemy. Troll. Fuck this autocorrect. Hold on. Sure. There you go, MacGyver. Yeah, CCP propagandas. Who knows? I mean, they're out there. I get, there are leftists that watch this just to be able to go and tattletale. Oh, he's saying things we don't. Let them go to the pussy prepping channels. That's right, because over here we talk about burning witches at the stake and what we do, putting trannies on pikes and all kinds of shit like that, right? Because we can go biblical. We can put them in the ground and stone them. I mean, whichever way, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, right? Myself, I'm like, and people will be like, oh well, I can't believe you would burn witches at the stake. Yeah, I absolutely would burn witches at the stake. Yeah, especially, all society collapse. If society actually collapsed, like literally, like EMP'd and wasn't coming back, do you think I would burn people with the stake for witchcraft? Yes. The answer is yes. And they're like, well, what about Wicca? Because you're a witch. All right. I don't define between black magic and white magic and all this goofy shit. No, the book says get rid of witches, and we got rid of witches. Yeah. Oh yeah, Randy. That's right. Hold on. Let me put on it. Hold on. And I wore a chicken suit, yes, to teach the kids. Hold on. Got to put an example out there. Shit. That's right. But that's the problem is we let them get rooted into our culture, into our society. And, it's just gotten too far. Now, a lot of people say, oh, well, we shouldn't fight. We don't want to pick the fight. We don't want to start the fight. My Bible people out there, Dome Seeker, Chewbacca, Dynamite, people who actually understand that the book is real. Anybody else who's in here, why did the people get lost in the desert for 2 generations? Was it because they picked a fight or because they wouldn't pick a fight? It's because they wouldn't pick a fight. All right. God said, go into this land and take it. And they said, oh, there's giants in this land. And the 12 spies came back. And 10 of them was like, oh, there's giants in there. We'll get fucked up if we go against these giants. They'll kill us. And the other ones was like, no, look what God already did to the Pharaoh and shit. We can kill them. If he's with us, we can get him. And they were like, no, we got this. We better not go in there. And they refused to fight. And so they lost. For 2 generations, they were lost. God didn't turn their back on them. They turned their back on God. And so God was like, you don't think that'll happen here? You're afraid to fight? Oh, well, I'll lose my job. Oh, well, I'll lose my pension. Oh, well, I'll lose my kids. I'll lose my car. You're going to lose a lot fucking more if you don't nut up. Randy Roman says, I guess trolls don't watch football. I I don't watch football. I don't know if the trolls do or not. I think they do, because a lot of people are, big on that bread and circuses shit. I don't have time for football. Oh, while we're on here, I'm going to cut this here in a little bit, in a few minutes, but about the supply chain issues in this country. I've had some issues with my truck. And so I go and I try to order a engine overhaul kit. All right. This is MacGyver prepping. Something's wrong with you. But I go to order an engine overhaul kit for Peterbilt. All right. For a Caterpillar in my Peterbilt. And I place the order at the desk at Peterbilt. And girl calls me up, says, well, Rob, I got good news and bad news. The good news is we can get it. The bad news is it's a 5-month lead time. 5 months to get parts for a truck. Now they can get it from an aftermarket source, and it should be the end of February for the aftermarket. But if I want original equipment, it's 5 months. It's only 3 months if I go aftermarket. Don't mess with a man who has nothing to do with this. The fight started when the government and society started demanding that everyone conform. I believe it started when they started taking God out of everything. All right, that's my personal belief. Let's see. Don't mess with a man that has nothing to lose. Here's the thing. The only thing that any of us have to lose and should fear losing is the love of our Creator, the respect of our Creator. All right, because He's going to love us either way. When you punish your kids, you still love them. We should fear our Creator. So if we're not doing right by Him, then we're going to get punished. At least a 15-inch pike. Oh, no. Randy, not inches. We need feet. Like Vlad the Impaler style, up there. Yeah, I'm all about that. We'll reduce the size of the government. Here's the thing about the government. Isn't it funny how when the government shuts down, they send non-essential workers home and keep the essential ones? Isn't that funny? Well, if you're non-essential to government operations, then you don't need to be there in the first fucking place. Get rid of them permanently. That'll help control the budget in government. Reduce the size of it. That's Oath Taker 276. I only fear God. Exactly. Papa's Farm says 15 pike minimum Warlord handbook. It said so. Very good. I like that. I was thinking a pike on the end of a pole. Okay, I was thinking the pole itself, just sharpen it, because I'm not going to take and waste time putting metal. Just sharpen the end of a fucking tree. Bamboo, whatever. Bamboo would probably be more efficient. It'd be lighter and it would bleed them out through the center. Yeah. Make the pole less slippery. That's an idea. A wood chipper, you'd be surprised, Oath Taker, how a femur could jam up a wood chipper. I mean, I'm guessing. Hypothetically. Yeah, bamboo grows fast too. Exactly. Think of that. We go green while piking these motherfuckers. Yeah, leave them off the edges of our country. Yeah, you're not going to have a bunch of illegals, regardless of where they're from, trying to cross into a country where they pike people. And you know what? If we went to biblical law in this country and said, if you do this is what's going to happen. If you do that, that's what's going to happen. We wouldn't have to worry about immigration anyway, because a lot of people wouldn't want to be here. Just saying. It'd be kind of like, honestly, kind of like living in Afghanistan right now. And a lot of people hear that and they're like, "Oh my God, I'd never want to." Most Islamic countries, most, with the exception of you being an American, in some of them, perfectly safe to be in. Yeah, I have felt much safer walking down some streets in Islamic countries outside of combat zones, outside of war zones. Malaysia, Indonesia, Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, Dubai, Oman. I've felt much safer walking down the street at night there than I have in daylight in some places here, right? Because they don't fuck around. You do bad shit and bad shit happens. Doc Galt misses the stand. I miss the food. My Afghani Terp interpreter. They don't like Terp. Interpreter could just he was cooked. I don't know what kind of spices and shit they put in there, but it was phenomenal. I loved that stuff. And the only thing that was weird was like everybody eating off that one tray of food, breaking the bread and passing it around and literally breaking bread and dipping it into the center thing to get your food out. Yes, Dome Seeker, this is a work of fiction. Now going to start a bamboo grow area. Hold on. They're blocking stuff. Ron Renault. Hold on. Guillotine their genitalias. Well, no, we couldn't do that because a lot of them want that nowadays. All right. They want, I feel like I'm feeling like I'm a female. No, you're not. You got an X and a Y chromosome, son. Something's wrong with you. You slap half these kids upside their head, you wouldn't have that problem. And it's funny too, because it's always the people who, it's always leftists. You never hear of two conservative parents having a transgender child, but you will hear all day the stories of couples in Los Angeles who have all of these tranny kids. Just saying, it's not nature, it's nurture. Those used to be called perverts, cross-dressed. Yeah, that's what they used to be called. MacGyver Prepper's trying to get my channel nuked, but this is just a work of fiction. This is just a work of art, so we can say things like that. Those kids are coached. Those kids are brainwashed. It is child abuse. And, oh God, 100 years ago, those kids would be taken. Their parents would be locked in an asylum. That was 50 years ago, probably. Anyway, all right. We're coming up on an hour. Pilgrim Prepper says, absolutely. I love your artwork, Rob. Thank you, Doc Galt. Hair's a mess today. Just been kind of chilling. Stubble. I'm not going to grow this back for a while. I think I'm going to shave again. Got to get a haircut. I was going to get a haircut today, but I forgot it was Thanksgiving. And I was like, oh, shit, nobody's open. And I was going to do it myself, but I always make some mess. And then she yells at me about the sink. Thank you all. God bless. They're turning Autism Texas into San Diego. Autism Texas. There you go. No, Austin, Texas. Nothing wrong with autistic people. That happens. They're fine. Autistic people are fine. It's the people that can't accept who they are, but once you accept who they can't accept they are, those people. Jay Hoare, you are 100% correct. LOL, just drive down with Angel and I'll give you a haircut. Yeah, I would, but it's 9 hours and I got to get the kids tomorrow. You keep shaving and I'm going to need the beard bones. You're going to need the beard bones for your ass. Don't make me tell these people about the picture that Dome Seeker sent me. Don't make me do it. He ain't ha ha ha. Ain't ha ha ha. No, oh, there is a ha ha ha. There it is. All right. Everybody, I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. Think about these things. All right. Just because someone's related to you doesn't mean that they're your family or your neighbor. Think about compromising. That's what got the Native Americans on reservations. They compromised till their enemy was powerful enough to conquer them. And again, Google the tribe off the coast of India that kills anybody that goes there. Google the guy that did a 15-year standoff in Texas. Let me show that. Why do they block beavers? A bunch of beavers. Just beavers. It's a little mammal. It's a fuzzy mammal. Beaver dreams. That's right. Beaver dreams. Happy Thanksgiving, Papa's Farm. Everybody, thank you for your time. I appreciate you being here. Good night. God bless to my baby sharks. Daddy loves you, and everything I do is for you. That's why, everything I do is for God, and by proxy, you. And I'm out.